Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with my beautiful wife, Karina from Venezuela. Got my Venezuelan hat on. It's time for your live stream, your K1 visa, green card, spousal visa, tourist visa live stream. I give you all this free information on how to process your green card, your K1 visa, every single detail, right down to the questions you could be asked at the K1 visa interview at the embassy, wherever that embassy may be. It could be in beautiful Philippines, it could be in India, Pakistan, Australia, England, France, United Arab Emirates, wherever it is, whatever embassy it is, you are going to have your K1 visa interview at. I can help you. Now, I can't tell you what they're going to ask you at the interview because they could ask you a whole range of questions, but I can give you a good idea of what you have to know in order to pass, to get through the scary visa interview. Hannah is first up to bat. Hannah, hola, Hannah, how are you? Now remember, guys, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you any legal advice. I'm not a CPA. I don't work for USCIS. I don't work for the CIA. I don't work for the FBI. I just am a retired military guy, retired from the auto industry and retired from the real estate industry. I'm retired 3 freaking times, but I'm still working. I'm helping you guys with your green cards, etc. Ray Ramirez, hola Diego and Karina. What's going on, Ray? How are you? How's your family? How's Hannah's family? Johnson M, good evening, everyone. We got 5 people on the watching us right now. Now I know the world's got what? There's how many people are trying to get a K1 visa? How many people are trying to get a green card? 60, 70, 80,000 people. But we got 4 people watching us. So those folks, you guys who are watching us right now, it's your lucky day because you're going to get this information for free. I've got 10 years experience processing green cards and K1 visas. 10 years of experience. Now, you could hire an immigration attorney. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Okay? But an immigration attorney is a lot of money. And the process is very easy. So why do you want to spend all that money on an easy process? Hannah, happy Halloween. Now that means happy Hallowed Eve, right? Woo! When all the ghosts come out. Apparently that's when the ghosts come out and scare the kids. And then the kids come around the neighborhood, they knock on the door, and they say, trick or treat. So you got to tell, I usually say trick. I want to see what they got. I want to see what they got. I want a trick. And then I give them a treat. And so we hope everyone's doing well. Today is October the 30th, 2024. October is gone. Where did it go? Where did October go? It's gone. Poof. No more. Soon it's going to be November. Now remember, in December, things will slow down just a little bit with green card processing and with K1 visa interviews. It's going to slow down just a bit, especially in countries with lots of vacations. Colombia, I think, is the second country in the world with the most vacations. They take a day off just for the sake of taking a day off. And then they also get, I'm talking at the embassy, and at the embassy they also get American holidays. So if you're trying to schedule a K1 visa interview in December, good luck. Good luck with that. If you can, you're lucky. Okay? But it is what it is. Karina had her visa interview at the embassy in Bogota, Colombia, November 16th, 2023. She had her medical exam November 8th, was it? November 8th. November 9th, she had her biometrics. And then she got her K1 visa issued to her like the end of December. Because we had to wait for this stupid Interpol police certificate. Well, it's not stupid. I wouldn't say that. It was necessary, but we had to wait for it. And then we flew to the United States from Bogota, Colombia on January 3rd, 2024. Hannah, does Karina learn English or no need in Florida State? She's learning English. Karina aprende inglés. It's slowly. You got to learn English wherever you live in America, especially at work. When Karina's at work, she's kind of like trying to figure out what everybody's saying. But that's the way you learn English, by being there. You know, I learned Spanish by being in Colombia, being around Colombians. You know, they were just nonstop talking to me in Spanish. And I'm like, what the heck? What are you talking about? I don't understand a word you're saying. But after about a year and a half of living in Colombia, I learned Spanish pretty good. Yeah, I had to learn it. I had to learn. Karina has to learn English. She's got no choice, no option. But you know what? She's going to learn. She's learning English. And when she does learn English, her boss has already told her she's going to move up the totem pole at her job pretty quick, because they love her where she works. Okay, she's like, she was already nominated for a person of the quarter. She's doing great. Okay, when Karina got her English down, she's going to be getting up there, you know, and breaking that glass ceiling that everybody's talking about. Chris and Emil, did Karina enjoy the World Series? We didn't watch the World Series, so we don't know. I didn't watch it. Karina didn't watch it. Okay, but I did hear about where that fan got ejected from the game because he tried to take the ball out of that player's freaking mitt. What's up with that? Seriously. But we hope that the team, Chris and Emma, we hope that you supported, we hope the team that you wanted to win won the World Series. Unless they got to play another game. I don't know. I'm too busy watching the election. I'm watching what's going on with the election. Apparently, Joe Biden thinks we're all garbage if we support the Trump. So I guess, you know, that's what 70% of the population of the United States is garbage right now. Anyway, you know, Joe Biden's an old guy. He probably didn't know what he was saying. He's so old he doesn't know what day it is. So he didn't probably realize what he was saying. And what did Trump say? Forgive Biden because he does not know what he says. And I agree. Ray Ramirez, how long are NOA 1 and NOA 2 taking? Well, the NOA 1 takes about a week to 10 days. I sent my fiance visa in the middle of August this year. Thanks, no problem. Okay, when you apply for a K1 visa, you fill out the I-129F. It's 13 pages. It's very easy forms to fill out. It's easy to fill out. You put together a fantastic K1 visa application. Totally perfect. No mistakes. You didn't forget to sign the document. You didn't forget to pay the correct amount. You didn't make a mistake on the check or the cashier's check. Because remember, you don't want to use your credit card to pay for your green card or your K1 visa application. Use a freaking check to save you from a headache. Because most banks don't recognize the charge, and you end up getting a block, and then immigration doesn't process your visa, and then you got to resubmit everything. It's a nightmare. Just pay with a check. And the question is, how long does it take to get an NOA 1 letter? 7 to 10 days. How long to get an NOA 2 letter? 6 to 9 months. About 6 months, 7, 9 months, 6, 7, 8 months, 9 months. You sent your fiance's visa, so you applied for her K1 visa in the middle of August of this year. So September, October, November. So September. So you're in 2 months. You're 2.5 months in. So another 4 or 5 months, Ray, you should be getting your NOA 2 letter. So let's say November, December, January, February, March. Let's say March, April 2025, you'll be getting the NOA 2 letter. So good. It's going by pretty quick. Chris and Emil, 6 to 9 months is correct. Badia Mike, hi Diego. How long does it take for a work permit and green card to be approved after biometrics? About 3 months as of October 30th, 2024. About 3 months, the most 4 months for the work permit, and 6 to 9 months for the green card. Okay. Now, what happens? It all depends on if you live on the West Coast, then more than likely you're going to be mailing your green card application to Phoenix, Arizona, and they're pretty busy right now. You know, the workload's pretty heavy. But as we get closer, like we're into the wintertime, January and February, things get much quicker, things speed up. January and February. Karina applied for her green card February 29th of 2024. She got her green card in 3.5 months. It was quick. Okay. Number one, we put together a green card package that was about this big, thick, full of all kinds of stuff. We had evidence going back 4 years. Okay. So when you apply for your green card, make sure you include pictures from when you first started dating each other. Include pictures from the beginning of your relationship. We have been together for 3 years. We got married. We included pictures from 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. So we had 4 years worth of pictures. Okay. What do you put on the pictures? Well, we put the date we took the picture. So we had dates going back from 2021 all the way to 2024. We had written the names of the people in the pictures. There was one picture we took on January 1st of 2023, I believe it was. We went to a place in Bogota, Peña Iglesia, and Karina's whole family turned out from Venezuela and our friends from Colombia. There's got to be 50 people in that picture. So I got in there like this with the camera. And I'm like, and Karina's over here, and Andrea and Paola, and I took a picture, and we had a picture with about 50 people. And I put the name, I got all the names. I went, hey, what's your name? What's your name? I didn't know everybody that was there. So I had a little notepad and my pen, and I wrote down the names of the people and everything. And I know who they are now, but back then I didn't know. I put all their names on the photo, and what day we took the picture, which was New Year's Day of 2023. And where did we take the picture? Well, about almost 11,000 feet up. It was high, a very high altitude. I'm lucky I even was alive for the picture. There's Iran, Edri, a lot of people. Andrea, Paola, Karina, and some of Andrea's friends from the apartment complex they live in Colombia. It was great. So how long does it take, Badia, Mike? 3 months for the work permit, 6 to 9 months for the green card after the biometrics. Bam bone one. So does the spouse visa take longer than 16 months? Spousal visa takes about 14 to 16 months. That's correct. You're very good. You know what's going on. You know what's going on. It's about 14 to 16 months. It's taken a little longer for a spousal visa. And what sucks about that is you're separated from each other. Your wife is in, let's say, in the Philippines, and you're living in Texas, and you want to get reunited. But because you're going through a CL1 spousal visa, your wife cannot come to the United States until the visa gets approved. But once it does, you get the green card done much quicker than if you're on a K1 application. But the difference between the spousal visa and the K1 visa is with a K1 visa, within 10 or 11 months or 12 months, your fiance is with you in America. Kranos was with me January of 2024. We were together. We applied for her green card and we got it by June, but we were together, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. If I had flown to Colombia and got married in Colombia, we went through a spousal visa. Karina would be in Colombia, and I'll be stuck here, waiting and waiting and waiting. It costs a little bit less money for a spousal visa, but the process is a lot more difficult and a lot longer, and the K1 visa is more expensive, okay? And you have to wait for the green card. It takes probably a longer wait time for the green card, but you are waiting together. Karina was with me here in America, in Florida, waiting for a green card. Let me see. Chris and Emil, yes, there is another game tonight. I am rooting for the Dodgers. Okay. The Dodgers is Los Angeles. Is it? Is it LA? The LA Dodgers? Come on. Keep me up to date with baseball. I don't watch it. Hannah, I think folks who hire a lawyer for K1 and for adjustment of status are losing their money. Yeah. Well, I'm going to give Hannah the first Mountain Dew salute. Look at that. Did you hear that? Hannah gets the first Mountain Dew salute. They're losing their money because I hired a stupid lawyer before my K1 visa, and instead, to facilitate the process, he made it complicated. But Hannah got smart, and she found this channel, your channel, and I guided her through the K1 visa process. Right, Hannah? And I uncomplicated it for you because it's an easy process. But immigration attorneys, I'm not saying they do a bad job. I'm just saying that they're very expensive. And they do try to make it sound like it's complicated. But it's not complicated. It's easy. And you can do it. I have confidence that you guys can do your own K-1 visas. You can fill out your own K-1 visa package. You can fill out your own green card application. You don't need an attorney. The only time you really need an immigration attorney, okay, is number one, if you get a massive denial. But even then, I help somebody get over a denial without an immigration attorney. I help them through the process. Or if you have a felonious criminal record, Mr. American Citizen, if you have a felonious criminal record, you should probably go to an immigration attorney and say, here's my court records. Can you look over them for me and tell me if I qualify for the K-1? Now, you got to be careful. The immigration attorney might say, oh, yeah, you qualify. Just pay me $5,000 and I'll get you a visa done. But there's a good possibility that you don't qualify. And the attorney, being scrupulous, is trying to make some money. Now, I'm not saying that that can happen. I would say most immigration attorneys are 100% integrity number one. Okay? But there's a good chance that could happen. Kristen Amor, yes, Los Angeles. Okay. Hannah, right, Diego, in everything you say. Yeah, Hannah, if you hang out with us here, we're going to get you through the green card process and the K-1 visa for free. You got a question, I'll answer it for free. I know the answer 99.9% of the time. I know the answer to the question. I've been there and done it for 10 years. Gogu Giova 1. Now, if I remember, you're in Italy, right? In Italy. Buonasera, you're in Italy. Hello again, Diego. My fiance has the visa in her passport with the dates from October 2, 2024 till February 5th, 2025. Her medical exam was done Colombia. You're Colombia. That was the other gentleman was in Italy. Let me see here. She's got the passport. The K-1 visa is in her passport. And it commenced October 2nd, 2024, and it terminates on February 5th, 2025. Can she travel to the U.S. in January and get 90 days? Yeah. If her K-1 visa expires on February 5th of 2025, you got to make sure that her medical exam has not expired. Also, remember, we're looking at two things here: the medical exam and the K-1 visa expiration. The medical exam expiration date and the K-1 visa expiration date. If you can enter the United States, okay, as long as both of those things are current and not expired. Let's suppose your K-1 visa is good for the next 3 months, but your medical exam expired 2 months ago. And then your beneficiary gets on a plane and flies to the United States. The Border Patrol will deny her entry if the medical exam has expired. So make sure you check the date, the medical exam date, and the K-1 visa date, and they're good for 6 months. And you start the clock on the date you took the medical exam. So the question is, Goku Glover 1, can she travel to the U.S. on January and get the 90 days? The 90 days is the I-94 to get married. Yes, as long as her medical exam doesn't expire. After that, even if the visa expires on February 5th, which will be 6 months from the medical exam, or she needs to travel November 5th, 2024 to make the 90 days, just to match February 5th. Listen, here's the secret. If your medical exam hasn't expired and your K-1 visa hasn't expired, you can travel to the United States on the visa. If your medical exam has expired and the K-1 visa is good, you will be denied entry to America with an expired medical exam. So the secret is this: make sure the K-1 visa and the medical exam are both good and they have not expired. Okay? When you get to America, you get issued an I-94, the K-1 visa goes away, and you're working off of an I-94, which is a 90-day window of time to get married. That's what the I-94 is. The K1 visa is just to give you a permission slip to enter the United States. One way, one time. It's not a visa to go back and forth. That's a B2 tourist visa, which is good for 10 years. A K1 visa is good for one-time use. And then you're on an I-94. And then you get married within the 90 days on the I-94. If you don't, you get deported. So did you understand? Goku Jehovah 1. Do you understand what I'm telling you? What I'm saying to you? Do you understand what I'm telling you? She can travel to the United States in January of 2025, but number one, the plane ticket's going to be horrendously high. If she can travel to America in November, the price of a plane ticket from Colombia to the United States is going to be very little. It's going to be very small. Flying from Bogota to Miami, $200, $300, depending on usually what airline you travel on. But if you travel to the United States from Colombia in January or December during Christmas week, the price of the plane ticket is going to be 3 times as much. It's going to be triple the price. Okay? So you want to, if you can get her to fly to America in November, you're going to save a ton of money on the plane ticket, and you're not going to be worried about the visa expiring or the medical exam. Francois, good evening, Diego and Karina. Francois, what's going on? Mountain Dew salute to Francois. She's made it through a long, horrendous K1 visa process. A long, horrendous process. Francois, and we have got some additions to our fridge. Thanks to Francois.
Thank you. Muy bonito.
Karina says very pretty.
Sí, todos.
Total everything. Goku Jehovah 1. Perfect. The medical will be expiring on February 5th. If she travels in January, is she okay? Yes. We were looking on January just to spend holidays with her family. Yes. She can travel to America in January. The medical exam hasn't expired. The K1 visa hasn't expired. And your plane ticket is going to be 3 times the price than if you were to fly here in November. I'm just saying it's expensive. Colombia, Avianca Airlines, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, all of the airlines, they triple the price of the freaking plane tickets during Christmas and New Year's to fly from Colombia to the USA. Chris and Emo, Larry Piercy is missing out on this class. Boy, Larry he said, we need to have live streams on Mondays, plus Wednesdays and Saturdays. I said, okay, I do live every day. I said, okay. And then where is he? He disappears. Francois, glad you like them. Karina, and you are welcome. Yeah, Francois, 3 Mountain Dew salutes. I'm going to give you 3 Mountain Dew salutes, and only you and I know why it's 3 Mountain Dew salutes. And then number 3. Let's see here. Goklu Giova 1. Great, thank you. I will look into the plane tickets as well. Good call. Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. Karina's K1 visa interview was November 16th of 2023. We were going to fly from Colombia November 30th, 2023. We were going to spend another, 2 weeks in Colombia before my tourist visa expired. But Karina had to get, and I contacted Avianca Airlines, and they said the plane ticket will be $345 from Bogota to Miami, one way. Okay, I think that was $400. I think it was for both of us, total. Very inexpensive. I said, oh, great. But when Karina went to her scary visa interview, it was we had to get an Interpol police certificate. It took a month to get it. I'm like, what the heck? So we couldn't fly to the United States until January 3rd. So the plane ticket went from $450, something like that, I can't remember, to over $1,000, $1,100. It's crazy. But that's because it's Christmas and New Year's. Chris and Emma, my fiance's interview is November 5th. Anything I need to tell her? Wear business casual clothes. Business casual. Don't wear jeans. Don't wear tennis shoes. Don't wear a t-shirt. Wear business casual. Okay? Nice shoes, nice dress, business casual. Just imagine that the K1 visa interview is a job interview. You're going to get a job, okay, at Area 51. You want to be the secretary at Area 51 and transcribe all the notes for all the UFOs and the alien spacecraft that they're back in engineering in S4, not in Area 51, in S4. You're going for a job interview. Dress nice. If you don't know the answer to a question, the immigration officer, the consular officer asks a question, and she doesn't know the answer, say, I don't know. Don't make up a story. Immigration's going to know if you make up a story, okay? Just say, I don't know, and wait for the next question. Don't be like unprofessional. Don't be all giggling and laughing. Just be respectful and be relaxed and dress nice. Okay? The immigration officer is going to know you can't possibly know the answer to every freaking question. They're not there to trip you up. They're not trying to trip you up. They're trying to make sure that your relationship is real and you guys are not going through any fraudulent visa processing. That's all it is. The immigration officer is protecting the American citizen, and he's also protecting the foreign national. It works both ways. Francois, glad you liked them. Karina, you are welcome. And let me see, Chris and Emma, my fiance's interview November 5th, dress business casual. Some of the questions that she may be get. Here's a question they may ask her. Where are you going to live in the United States? What's your address? What is your address in the United States of America? They asked Karina that question. Where are you going to live in Florida? Well, they didn't say Florida. They said, where are you going to live in the United States? And Karina rattled off her address. Even the zip code. She even knows the zip code. They're like, dang, she even knows the zip code. They asked her, have I ever been to prison? Well, obviously, I've never been to prison, or else I wouldn't have qualified for the freaking visa. Okay? But they asked her that question. They asked her, do I have any brothers or sisters? She said, yeah, I got a brother. What's his name? And then she told him. They asked her, how did our relationship start? How did our relationship develop? And she said, well, she started to tell him how it developed. Well, 3 years ago, once upon a time, 3 years ago, and she was talking, and they kept, the consular officer kept cutting her off. And she's like, do you want me to freaking give you the answer or not? I'm trying to tell you what. And he said, no, you passed, you good. You have passed your visa interview. Congratulations. Here's your white sheet. But we need an Interpol police certificate. Once you get the Interpol police certificate, we'll process your K1. Okay? They asked her 12 questions. 12, 12 preguntas. They asked her 12 questions. In one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, in about 8 to 10 minutes. Let me see here. Chris and Emma was talking to Goku Glovia 1. Check with ASAP tickets. Check with plane tickets. Like today. Go into Expedia.com. I don't care. Look at the difference in plane ticket prices between November and January. You're going to have a heart attack when you see the difference in price. Let me see. So that's a good idea. I've used them all the time. Great people to set up tickets and discounts. Okay. Hannah, with K1 visa holder having pending a green card application, can the applicant travel with his foreign passport inside the USA to another state? Even if the I-94 has expired? Yes. If you want to fly from wherever you are to another part of the United States, you can do that, even if the I-94 is expired. What I would do is bring with you a copy of the approved green card application, the I-797, right? The NOA-1 letter, not from the K-1, but the NOA letter from the approved green card application. We're talking a whole different letter now. Just carry that, make a copy of it, and you can travel on your passport. And then Border Patrols, or they're not going to, if you're traveling within the United States, you're not even going to go through a immigration checkpoint. You're going to go talk to a clerk selling plane tickets and check in, and then you're going to go through a Homeland Security TSA security check. They're going to look at your passport. Oh yeah, that's you, and that's it. You're not going through immigration. But do not leave the United States. Do not leave the United States. So Hannah, you can travel within the United States with your passport if you want to. There's no problem with that. Chris and Emma, I'll tell her. There you go. She's in the Philippines. They're probably going to ask her maybe 4 or 5 questions. How did you meet each other? When was the last time you saw each other? How did you meet each other? When was the last time you saw each other? How long have you been dating each other? Did you have an engagement party? If you did, where was it? Did you have a wedding? Do you have wedding plans in place? Where are your wedding plans? Do you have wedding plans? Can you prove you're going to get married in the United States? Some countries ask for wedding plans. The Philippines, not so much, but some countries do. Let me see your wedding plans. Let me see here. Vimy, Lola, hello Diego and Karina, hope you are doing great. Finally, after 6 weeks of waiting, my visa was issued. Vimy, that's a Mountain Dew salute. You waited 6 weeks for your K1 visa to get issued. And I think I said to you it would take maybe 6 to 8 weeks. If I remember, I think it was about 6 to 8 weeks. You got it in 6 weeks. Goku Jova 1. Diego, any airport that you recommend? Like FFL, Fort Lauderdale has some prices on planes instead of Miami. Here's the thing. We flew to Miami, okay, because that's where Avianca flew to, and we had a pet cat. We had Tokyo, our cat. So we had to fly to Miami. If you don't have any pets, you could fly to Fort Lauderdale if you want to. But remember, if you have a connecting flight to somewhere else, we didn't. I rented a Jeep Cherokee in Miami and drove back home in a rental SUV. I didn't want to get a connecting flight with our cat, so I drove 12 hours. Okay. If you have a connecting flight, make sure you allow for at least 5 or 6 hours between when you land in Fort Lauderdale or Miami or Orlando, wherever it is you land, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, if you're flying to Florida. If you have a connecting flight, make sure you allow 5 or 6 hours between connecting flights, because it could take 2 hours to get through immigration. It could take 1 hour. It could take 3 hours. Okay? I remember I flew. Let me see. I flew from Colombia to Fort Lauderdale, and I had a connecting flight from Fort Lauderdale to Pensacola. I landed in Fort Lauderdale, and I had a 3-hour freaking wait in an immigration line because 5 planes from 5 different countries all landed at the same time at different places, terminals. So I had a 3-hour wait in immigration to clear immigration. I'm an American citizen, but I still had to clear immigration. So I missed my connecting flight from Fort Lauderdale to Pensacola. So I went to the lady. I said, look, I just missed my connecting flight to Pensacola because of immigration. She said, well, that's not my fault. That's your problem. I said, wait a second. I bought a plane ticket from Fort Lauderdale to Pensacola with your airline. I missed it because of a long immigration delay. And that wasn't my fault. She said, well, you just have to buy another ticket. I said, how about this? How about I lay down in front of your freaking counter here until you issue me another ticket tomorrow to fly to Pensacola, because I've already paid for it. Well, technically you paid for it, but you didn't use it. I was not at fault. I was in a delay because of immigration. I said, I'm going to just sleep in front of your counter and everybody can buy their tickets and check in over my body. And she said, really? I said, yeah. And I just laid down in front of the counter and I kicked back. I said, I'm just going to wait here for my ticket for tomorrow. And she said, okay, sir, let me see what I can do. And she issued me a new plane ticket, and I left Fort Lauderdale the next day at 6 a.m., flew to Pensacola. And I had to sleep at the airport. I couldn't leave the airport. I slept in a chair at the airport. And I watched them clean the floors. I watched the security guys walk around, looking in the windows. Make sure you got plenty of time for your connecting flight, from immigration to the connecting flight. I've been there, I've done it, I've experienced it, and I pass along the information to you guys. And I even made videos about it. Vimy Lawler, good job on getting the visa issued. Good job. Congratulations. Now, check on your medical exam and make sure that it hasn't expired. Check on your medical exam. So Goku, Joe, go on. Diego, any airport that you recommend? Fort Lauderdale's good. Miami's good. Orlando's good. But it's cheaper, I think, to fly from Bogota to Miami, in my opinion. I don't know about now. That was a year ago plus. Yes, will be a connecting flight. Okay, if you're going to be buying a ticket from Colombia to Florida with a connecting flight, make sure you got a 5 or 6 hour window of time between when you land and when you get the connection. April Flower, hi Diego, my fiance is feeling anxious as he is not able to work right away. We got our marriage license, but haven't done our marriage ceremony. It is scheduled. When should we file green card application? File the green card application in about 2 months after you get married. You get married, and then you're going to take about 60 days to put your package together. You want to get him on your bank account as a joint account bank holders. You want to put him on the electric bill, the water bill, the trash bill, the phone bill. You want to get him some kind of health insurance. You want to get all this evidence of cohabitation. You want to get evidence of commingling of funds. You got to put all this information together, and it takes about 2 months. So you get them on your bank, you become a joint bank account holders. Then you got to wait for a month for the bank statement to come in. So you're waiting for the bank statement to come in. It comes in. There's both of your names on the bank statement, and then you highlight your bank deposits. Then you wait another month, and a second bank statement comes in. And you're going to highlight the deposits, and you're going to highlight your names together. So you got 2 bank statements showing cohabitation of funds. You're going to save those bank statements for your 10-year green card application. You're going to use them for the 2-year green card, and then you're going to use them again for the 10-year green card. Okay? Very important. You're going to you get married, take lots of pictures at the wedding, get lots of pictures with lots of people, identify who's in the wedding pictures. Take a little honeymoon somewhere if you want to. Keep the itinerary of the honeymoon, where you went, where you stayed, the hotel, bus passes, bus tickets, plane tickets, whatever. Keep all that information. Okay? So once you get married, wait about 60 days, 50 to 60 days, get all the evidence of you living together and joint in cohabitation and commingling of funds, and then you apply for the green card. And I've made videos on how to file for a green card. I made videos how to do it. Miguel, Diego, does the time start to get the green card from when you submit the green card application, or from when you submit the biometrics? When you submit the biometrics, okay? Because the biometrics really is the final step where they do the police check on your beneficiary. They do the FBI police check with the biometrics. They run it through the system to make sure she's got no criminal record, okay, globally. Then it starts. Then it starts. Then the process is going to kick in. April Flower, he is feeling anxious as he is not able to work yet. Any advice? Just explain. You can't work until you have a green card or your work permit. You can't work. What I would do is stay busy. Get him a copy of the U.S. Constitution. Have him study the Constitution. Have him start learning about American history. Maybe he could take a history class online. Take a class online on American history. Start getting ready for U.S. citizenship. It's only 3 years away. 3 years passes like that. Karina and I dated for 3 years. The 3 years went by like a windstorm. Okay? So have him start getting ready for U.S. citizenship. Keep him busy. Have him learn the neighborhood. Get him a bicycle. Buy a bicycle. Have him bike around the neighborhood. Learn where everything is. Just be careful. Don't be riding the bike on them busy highways, but keep him busy. Okay? The more he's occupied, the more busy he stays, the quicker the time will pass. Okay? Try to teach him, English. If he doesn't speak English, start learning English. Buy him a word puzzle game in English and have him start doing word puzzles in English. That's what Karina does. She does all these word puzzles and she's learning English with the word puzzles. She never forget the word cabana. She had to find the word cabana 25 times in this word puzzle game. She had to look for it 25 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 23, 24. She found the word cabana 25 times. Yeah, Miguel, it's going to take time for the green card. She submitted her biometrics September 19th. How much longer until she gets a work permit? Probably by the end of December. Green card probably by March or April of 2025. Christopher Reese, good evening, Christopher. How are you and how is your family? We hope everybody's doing well. April Flower, keep him busy. Okay? Keep him busy. Because when you're not busy, when you're not doing anything, then you start getting these creepy feelings coming up. Then your brain starts creating all these scenarios in your head. Is there a problem with my green card? Did I get denied? Am I going to get a problem? Is there a problem? You got to keep him busy. Okay? But everybody gets a Mountain Dew salute because I know it's a hard process. And April Flower, thank you so much for your advice, Diego and Karina. You're welcome. Karina, we didn't know how long it's going to take to get her green card. We had no idea. So I took her out into church parking lots and taught her how to drive a car. We were in parking lots in private property. The church said, yeah, go ahead. So, she learned to drive a car in parking lots. Church parking lots and on farmland. It was fun up in farmland. She had a good time. But I kept her busy. She didn't stay not busy. Christopher Reese, I'm well. So is my fiance. We hope you are all too. We are good, Christopher. We are doing good. Karina's doing good. She got up for work at 3 o'clock this morning. Then she worked another extra hour. They needed her. So she worked another hour. And now she's right here doing the live stream. She is on it. She's not lazy at all. Not at all. Now, remember, in America, in the United States of America, if you're not afraid to work hard, if you're willing to work hard, you're willing to step out of your comfort zone, you could become a millionaire. You could do it. Miguel, so one cannot get a driver's license until one gets the green card. Right. In Florida, in particular, you got to have a green card and a social security number to get a driver's license. And then when you go into the DMV as a foreign national, the first thing they're going to want to see is your driver's license, your green card. Then they want to see your social security number. And in Florida, you got to take a 4 or 5 hour class on don't drink and drive. So it's a 4 hour class online, 5 hours. You take the test. You print the proof that you took the class online, that you know that you don't drink and drive. Then Karina went she got a green card. We practiced driving for another, 2 months. We practiced another 2 months. She had her green card, but we didn't go get her driver's license. We practiced another 2 months. I prepped her for the test and the exam for the driver's test. She went in, she took her class. She had her 4 hour class certificate. She had her green card. She had a social security number without the Homeland Security crap written all over it that says you can't work without Homeland Security approval. We got rid of that when she got her green card. And then she took the driver's test, the sit-down exam. She passed with flying colors. And then she took her driver's test, and the lady said, congratulations, you passed your test. And they issued her a Florida driver's license. But it took a lot of sweat equity. She had to learn how to drive. She had to learn everything, all the road signs. She had to learn them in English, right? She had to learn what they were in English. She had to pass a test to drive it. Karina, it's like she passed. She did it. Okay. And then once she got her driver's test passed and her driver's license, I made a copy of my driver's license. I made a copy of her. I put her driver's license right here. I put my driver's license right here on a piece of paper. I took a copy of it. I took a picture of it with Karina's iPhone. Then I printed it. And that went in. That's going to go in her 10-year green card application. Why did I do that? Well, Karina's driver's license has our address here in Florida written on it. My driver's license has my address written on it here in Florida. So we have two driver's licenses, both showing that we live at the same address. Karina Ross, Diego Ross. That's going in her 10-year green card paperwork. It couldn't go in her 2-year green card application because she couldn't get her driver's license until she got her freaking green card. But it's going in her 10-year green card application. We've already got it started. On the next live stream, I'll bring her 10-year green card application in here and let you see it, what we've got done so far. Let me see here. So Goku Jehovah 1, thank you again, Diego. I was asking you about because I called the 800 number, but they don't seem to know the exact answer. Well, I gave you the answer. They asked somebody and told me that 90 days have to be in between the 4 months of the visa. No. If you have a question, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on a K1 visa, on a green card, on times, on this time to this time, on I-94s, on NOA2 letters, NOA1 letters, I-797, if you have a question, ask me here, and I will give you the answer. Boom. I understand, Goku Jehovah 1. You got this. Christopher Reese, silly question. Trip 2 planned and ticket bought. Okay. We can't put in with the I-129F. It already submitted. No, don't worry about it. Can we use this and other pictures for future evidence? Yes, Christopher. You're going to use that trip for the 2-year green card application and for the embassy interview. You're going to get copies of those boarding passes. Okay, on your trip to go see your beneficiary, your fiance, you're gonna make photocopies, take a picture with your cell phone of the boarding passes and the visa stamps. Okay, then you're gonna print them, and then you're gonna have your fiance bring them to her visa interview, and you're gonna also, in case they ask her, they could ask her how many times has your sponsor been to see you. Well, I went to see Karina like 5 freaking times. I had a stack of boarding passes like this. I was like a Library of Congress of plane tickets. You're going to use it for the embassy interview if they ask for it, and also for the 2-year green card application as evidence of your relationship. You got it? Roger that. Adriana Sarango Nunez. Hi, Diego and Karina. Traveling on November 21st to my new home in Minnesota on my K1 visa. Minnesota. It's cold in Minnesota, Adriana. It's cold. It's cold. It's freezing there. How is the port of entry? It's easy. Also, how do you feel about the election environment on airports? Should it be good? The elections has got nothing to do with the airports. Okay? Nothing to do with airports. The Border Patrol has already endorsed President Trump. The Border Patrol Union has endorsed President Trump for president. Okay? That's, I don't know, what, 20,000 people? But they're not, but President Trump has stated over and over, you are welcome to come to the United States of America. We want you to come here. But you got to do it legally. You got to go to a consulate interview. You got to have a medical exam. You got to have a police certificate. You got to have an application. You got to have a sponsor. Right? Trump said you can come here. We give you a big hug when you get here. But you're going to come through a doorway, and we're going to give you a key, and you unlock and you come in. You're not going to be sneaking across the back fence in the back garden. You're going to come in the front door. So the election is not going to have any bearing on anything other than nothing, other than we're going to save our freaking country from the Marxists that are trying to destroy it, in my opinion. You know, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm independent, okay? But I remember when a loaf of bread was $1, now it's $5. And what changed? Well, Trump left the White House and Biden got in the White House. That's what changed. And the economy went in the toilet. You know, and then what happened? And then what happened today? Buzz Aldrin, the second person to walk on the moon. Buzz Aldrin was the second person to walk on the moon in July of 1969 in the Apollo 11. He endorsed President Trump. Today, the second person to walk on the moon. We want to see people going to Mars soon. Without Elon Musk is going to start sending people to Mars. But, you know, our country, the United States of America, is a capitalist constitutional republic. We run off of a free market capitalism. The Biden-Harris administration ran our country like a socialist Venezuela dictatorship. It doesn't work that way. You know, Kamala Harris said, well, I'm going to make a law. I'm going to make the federal government decide how much it costs to sell a loaf of bread in Walmart. Well, that's what Maduro did in Venezuela. That's not how free markets work. The federal government got no authority to tell Walmart how much to charge for a freaking loaf of bread. That's what communists do. November 5th, okay? November 5th, we decide in this country, are we going to be free again or are we going to continue with this communist horse crap? Let's see here. Christopher Reese, good 10-4 on the interview. Karina got 12 questions. And she answered it. Boom, 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 boom. Quick. She got through them quick. Adriana Sarango Nunes, how is Miami as a port of entry? It's great. You get off the plane. You go into the U.S. citizenship line. You leave your suitcase. Your suitcase will keep going around and around in circles until you get done with immigration. So you go into the U.S. citizenship line in Miami. You check in your passport. Here, I'm a K-1 visa applicant. The immigration officer, the Border Patrol, Customs and Border Patrol, whatever you call them, will say, welcome to America, young lady or gentleman. Welcome to the United States. He will take or she will take your passport, call somebody up and say, we're going to give you a second interview in a big office right down the road, down the hallway there. So then if you're with your American citizen sponsor, Karina and I were in Miami. We went to the big office. We walked into this big office and we sat down, and there was like 3 or 4 Border Patrol officers sitting behind a desk up here with a glass thing. And we waited. There was some Russian guy, I think, or Ukrainian trying to get into the United States. I don't know. We waited our turn and they called Karina up. They took her bag, her package that was sealed by the embassy in Bogota. They took it out of her bag, out of her maleta, her case, her carry-on bag. They opened it up. They entered all the information in the computer. Boom, 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 boom. They issued her I-94. They stapled it in her passport. They said, welcome to America. We're glad you're here. We hope you enjoy your stay. Yeah, it was going to be for a permanent. And they didn't ask her any questions. They asked me more freaking questions than Karina. I'm like, dude, I'm not immigrating. I already live here. And he started laughing. He started joking. He started laughing. Then, because we had to go through a Border Patrol checkpoint and a K-1 visa face-to-face to get the I-94, we left the office. I couldn't use the cell phone. I couldn't take pictures. I had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, dude, I got to go to the bathroom. He said, well, yeah, you go down this hallway and there's a bathroom on the right. I said, I got to go. So I went, and it was like I was walking. I'm like, man, this is a jail cell. That's where they put the illegal immigrants, right here in these jail cells. I went to the bathroom, came back, we left, and our suitcase was all by itself, sitting in the middle of the hallway. Everybody had left, all the other passengers were gone, and there was a suitcase all by itself. And I said, Karina, there's a suitcase. I'm glad nobody stole it, but we're in an airport, good luck with that. We picked up the suitcase, and I started to drag it with the wheels and the freaking wheel broke. Caucho romper. Yeah. The wheel broke. I'm like, great. That's like 400-pound suitcase. We crammed all of Karina's life into this one suitcase, and I had to pay an extra $90 just to get it on the plane. And the wheel broke. Right. So then, I'm basically just, that was the worst part of the whole trip, was when the wheel broke on the suitcase, because that was heavy. And we brought it. We found the car rental place. I already rented the car. I already rented the SUV I'm in Bogota, Colombia, with my cell phone, and I rented the SUV with the rental company in Miami Airport. I rented it like a week before we left. I mean, I already had the plane tickets. Well, no, yeah, we had the plane tickets, and I just booked the rental car. They already knew they were expecting us. And here I am. We got the suitcase loaded in the back of this Jeep Cherokee, getting ready to drive for 12 hours. Karina's never been in the United States before. She's like this. Yeah. Her eyes are like, she got, wow, look at this place. Look at palm trees. Yes, Miami. Yes. And I couldn't find I-95. I couldn't find I-95. I'm Karina. I said, Karina, I can't find Interstate 95. I asked her in Spanish, can you go on the phone and GPS me to I-95? She said, okay. So she's doing the GPS. I pulled into a gas station in Miami. I said, hey, I'm trying to find I-95. I think it's close. Can you give me directions? And the guy said, no hablo inglés. I don't speak English. What do you mean you don't speak English? It's Miami, for crying out loud. No habla inglés. So I responded back in Spanish, okay. Yo tengo una pregunta para ti, por favor. Tú ayúdame, yo no entiendo mi lugar. ¿Dónde es en autopista 195? And his eyes went like this because I spoke freaking Spanish. El gringo is speaking Spanish to the Cuban. So he sent me over. He said, go talk to the lady over there who's selling the hot dogs. So I went over to the lady selling the hot dogs. I said, where's I-95? And she said, I don't know. No lo sé. I don't know. I said, you live here, right? Yeah, yo vivo aquí. Okay, ¿dónde es autopista, por favor? No lo sé. No olvide. Okay, I got back in the freaking Jeep Cherokee. I said, Karina, these people don't know where the interstate is. They only live here, but they don't know where it is. She said, I got it right here on the GPS. I said, great. So Karina's telling me how to get to Interstate 95. We get on 95 north, and I'm like, oh, home. I'm back in Florida. I'm back on home turf, and I know where I'm going. Christopher Reese, 400-pound suitcase. It was at least 120 pounds. It was very heavy. Heavier than a sea bag. Oh, it was twice as heavy as my sea bag when I joined the Navy. Chris and Emil, can you make a video of the rules of carrying any items allowed on the plane before customs says a red flag on suitcase? Well, I can do that. I can make a video on that. Yeah. That's a good idea. Go Cook Jehovah 1. When my fiance flies here, is it better if I fly back with her and her daughter, or they can be by themselves? Listen, here's what you need to do, Goku Jehovah 1. You need to go to the visa interview in Bogota, Colombia with your future wife and her beautiful child, and you must accompany them to the United States from El Dorado International Airport in Bogota, and accompany them through the U.S. citizenship line. Take them into the Border Patrol face-to-face interview for the I-94. The Border Patrol officer is going to see you as the American citizen sponsor, and the process will go smooth as silk. You need to accompany your fiance to the United States, in my opinion, because there was one person that didn't do that about a year ago, and the Border Patrol denied her entry into the United States because she was nervous, she was scared, she was really scared. She was from Venezuela, living in Colombia. She landed in Miami. She went to the Border Patrol interview, and she was sweating because she was nervous, and she was fiddling with her fingernails, and she was totally scared pitless because of the immigration, because she had to, because of what she experienced traveling in Venezuela with the Maduro thugs. The Border Patrol blocked her from coming in the country because they didn't think that the relationship was real, because she was scared and nervous. If her fiance from America had accompanied her from Bogota to Miami, she would have been relaxed, she would have been calm, he would have been in control of the visa still, and she would have got issued her K-1. So what happened to those folks? Well, he had to fly to Colombia, and they got married in Colombia and reprocessed a spousal visa. If you can accompany your beneficiary through immigration, if you can do that, it's so much better for that person to be relaxed, to have security blanket on their arm going through the Border Patrol checkpoint. Okay? So my recommendation is to accompany her with your beautiful new daughter, stepdaughter, right? Christopher Reese is laughing. Adriana Sarango Nunez. Hi Diego, my fiance can't accompany me. Is that too bad? I'm from Peru. No, you cannot go to the visa interview in Peru. I'm trying to remember. In Peru, you cannot go to the sponsor cannot go to the visa interview. In Colombia, they can, but it's no problem. Okay, the ambassador says you can't accompany. In London's the same way. The Philippines is the same way. If you have a fiance from London or from England or from the Philippines, Peru, the American citizen cannot accompany the beneficiary to the visa interview. But in Colombia, they can. Okay. When the ambassador says this is my rule, then there's nothing you can do about it, but you're good. It's not going to affect anything. It's not going to hurt the visa. Okay? You're good. Christopher Reese. Oh no, he can't come with me to Miami onto the plane. Well, that's on him. My recommendation is he does. My recommendation, Adriana, is your American citizen sponsor needs to fly to Peru and fly and accompany you to Miami. He needs to be with you when you go through immigration. My opinion, I mean, I'm sure he can get time off. He can ask his boss at work, say, look, this is very important. This is an immigration issue. You know, they're not going to block you from coming to the United States if you're by yourself. They're not going to stop you. It's not going to be an issue. But it's just more comfortable, in my opinion, for the person who's never been to America before. I remember when I flew to Colombia for the first time in my life, I couldn't even speak English. I couldn't speak Spanish. I didn't know where the heck I was. I didn't know what the taxi routines were. I didn't know anything. Well, Karina knows everything about Colombia. She lived there for 6 years. So when we traveled anywhere, Karina was in charge of everything, pretty much. I said, hey, let's go somewhere on vacation. And she said, well, let's go to this big bus depot in northern Bogota and look at the list of places to go visit. Okay. So we went to this place. We ate at McDonald's. McDonald's is good, by the way. I like McDonald's. We ate and we looked, and Karina said, I want to go to Villa de Leyva. Well, works for me. So we bought tickets to Villa de Leyva. We didn't even have a hotel. We went on a bus to Central Colombia, got off the bus in Villa de Leyva, had no place to stay. We had an overnight bag, and we stayed a week. We found a hotel, and we stayed for a week. We had a great time. And that burritos, that Mexican food was awesome. And we kept all the receipts from the bus tickets, the dinner receipts, because every time you go out on a dinner date with your beneficiary, that's a dinner date. Keep those receipts for the 2-year green card. You know. So Adriana, he can't come to Miami with you. If his workload won't let him, then don't worry. It's okay. Just be cool, be relaxed when you go to the Border Patrol checkpoint, and go to the U.S. citizenship line. Check in with the U.S. citizenship line. Don't go to the green card line. In Miami, okay, I know the TSA folks in Miami airport. I know a couple of those people that work in TSA. Okay, trust me, you can go in the U.S. citizenship line. You're traveling by yourself, no problem. You're good. Christopher Reese, good info. I will fly out to San Francisco and meet her. Then we will fly to North Carolina. Okay, there you go. Chris and Emil, my fiance can't get a hold of the embassy on the phone and by email too. You should be able to send an email. How far away is your fiance from the embassy in Manila? Your fiance, what is she? Does she live in Manila? She does, right? If I remember, can't she make a person? Can't she go to the embassy and make in face to face, set an appointment, and say, I got my medical exam done? Right. She lives in Manila. Have her go to the embassy and do a face to face check in. Joku Giovanna one. My fiance went by herself to the interview and everything went well. Karina did too. She went to her interview by herself. I was sick in bed in Bogota. Christopher Reese. Oh yes, same. When I went to Manila, I was like a lost hunting dog in the woods. Yeah, I was in Bogota. I had no idea where I was going to do. What? I couldn't speak Spanish. I didn't know where I was at. All I knew was were there cartels going to get me, which is totally not true because Colombia is safer than Detroit. Bogota is a safe place. Okay, I was not scared in Bogota, Colombia. It's a very safe place. Just don't be stupid. Don't be wearing a nice flashy watch or gold jewelry or anything like that. Ladies, don't be wearing flashy earrings or anything like jewelry. Don't wear that stuff out when you're walking around. But other than that, you're in a safe place. And keep your cell phone secure. When you're in Bogota, don't be taking pictures of anything with your cell phone with it up in the air like this. Take pictures like this. Here's your chest. Here's your cell phone. If you want to take a picture of Copatria Tower, do it like this. With your chest and your shoulders blocking your cell phone from anybody seeing what you're doing. Okay? Word of advice. Don't be being stupid with your cell phone in Bogota. Whoa, look at this. Oh, it's Montserrat, Guadalupe. Oh, mira. No, keep your phone down here. And when you're on the Transmillennial or in a taxi or in whatever, keep your phone stuck down your pants and don't bring it out to use it. Don't be on the Transmillennial with your phone in your hand. Because you got some people who will smash the window to the bus and take your phone out of your hand. Just be smart, okay? Joku Jehovah 1, coming back to the United States, can we make the citizen immigration line? Yeah, U.S. citizen. That's the one you go into. You go into the U.S. citizenship line and you turn in the passport and say, I'm here on a K-1 visa. And the Border Patrol is going to help you. Chris and Emil, the embassy said that she can't just show up there. It has to be an interview. You got to have an appointment. Yeah, you got to have an appointment. You got to set an appointment with the embassy. But she's got to call the embassy and respond to the email saying that her medical is complete. Right? That's what I would do, is try to set an appointment and do it face-to-face. But you've got the K-1 visa interview scheduled, right, in Manila? Don't you have it scheduled already? I think you do. So she needs to just bring the medical exam with her to the interview. Okay. It's a 2-step process in Manila. Okay. Well, do the second step. Call the embassy. Call. Karina didn't have any problem calling the embassy in Bogota, Colombia. The U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia got to know Karina by her freaking first name. Oh, hey, it's Karina again, everybody. She's got a question. This was back in the summer of 2022 when we were trying to get her her welcome letter and all that jazz. And the MVC had stopped shipping K-1 visas to the embassy in Bogota because the embassy in Bogota was busy, overloaded with work. But the NVC sent me an email saying the embassy in Bogota is closed because of COVID. Well, I knew that was a bunch of BS. And so Karina was making phone calls to the embassy, and they said, "No, we're open. You're good. We just can't process visas. We just can't accept any new visas from the MVC until August of 2022, was it? I can't remember. 2022. Anyway, Chris and Emil, she can't get through. The line is backed up. Got to keep calling. Call up. Call during the take a whole day and make phone call and call. Make it like you're doing the phone a friend on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Hello, I got a question. Call. Keep calling. And she'll get through. Eventually she'll get through. Okay? But let's do this. Let's put some pixie dust all over that phone call. Right? Now I've got the pixie dust on the phone call. She's going to get through now. She's going to get through. But today, what day is it, dear? Today's Wednesday. So Thursday and Friday, she needs to be on the phone. Her plan is to be on the phone, calling. Christopher Reese, the squeaky mouse always gets the grease. That's a Mountain Dew salute right there. There you go. Okay, I've been talking for an hour and 11 minutes. Give me some questions or ask. No questions. You're all questioned out. I'm going to go and sign off and Karina can go rest. Watch a video. Any questions? K1 visas, green cards, spousal visas, cell phone question. Okay, Christopher, come on, give me a cell phone question. I'm ready. Are we talking cell phones in Colombia? Cell phones in the embassy? Cell phones where? Where is the cell phone? Is this the question? Where can you use a cell phone? You cannot use your cell phone in the embassy. They're going to tell you to turn it off. You cannot use a cell phone to go get the biometrics in Bogota, Colombia. They'll tell you to turn it off. If you're a tourist in Colombia, in Bogota, protect your cell phone because most people's entire lives are in their cell phones. Phone numbers to grandma, phone numbers to mom. Christopher Reese, I heard once that once she gets here in the United States, they were asked to see her cell phone. Any truth to this? Yes. Sometimes, a veces, sometimes. When Karina landed in Miami, we had already mailed Karina's cell phone to her mom in Venezuela. We gifted it to her mom in Venezuela. So when Karina landed in America, she didn't have a cell phone, but I had a cell phone. So Karina, because she didn't have a cell phone, they didn't have a cell phone to look at because we sent it to mom. But if she had her cell phone with her, the Border Patrol, Customs and Immigration have a right to ask for her cell phone. She has to open it. If she doesn't open the cell phone, she will not be allowed entry into the United States. So if they ask you, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, the Border Patrol, if they ask you for your cell phone, give them your cell phone. Enter the password and open it. If you don't, they will deny you entry in the United States. Okay? So you have your cell phone, you open it up. The Border Patrol may want to look at your Facebook account, your Instagram account. They're going to page through all the pictures in your cell phone, and they're going to look for any nefarious activity. So if you are a member of the Communist Party of China, and you go to Communist Party meetings, and then you get engaged to an American citizen, and you fly from Beijing to Miami, and on your cell phone, you got pictures of all your Communist Party meetings, but on your DS-160, you said you'll never been a member of the Communist Party. You basically lied. So you made it through the K-1 visa interview at the embassy. They gave you the K-1 visa. You get to America. The Border Patrol says, I want to look at your phone. And the lady goes, okay, here's my cell phone. And they opened it up and they look at the pictures and they say all your meetings at the Communist Party meetings in Beijing. Guess what? You ain't coming to America. Your K-1 visa gets canceled on the spot and they send you back on the next plane to Communist China. Okay? That's scenario number one. Okay, scenario number 2 with a cell phone. Let's supposing you're dating somebody, I don't know, from whatever, it doesn't matter what country, and your girlfriend, your fiance is cheating on you with another guy. And she's got all these pictures in her cell phone where she's cheating on you with this other guy in her own country. And the immigration officer says, I want to see your phone. She opens it up and he looks through the pictures and he goes, who's this guy right here? What are you doing with your arms around this guy on the beach here in wherever? Busted. The American citizen sponsor then can say, I'm not going to continue processing this visa. See ya. Send her back home. They will look in your phone. Sometimes it depends on the country that you're coming from. It depends on the K-1 visa application that they reviewed at the embassy. If the embassy officer, the consular officer, trusts you, Mr. Beneficiary, there will be an annotation somewhere in that sealed packet that says, just process the frickin' I-94. So what happened with Karina? They opened it up. Oh, okay. Processed the I-94. Didn't ask her any questions. But the Border Patrol, immigration, whatever you want to call them, can look in your phone, and you have to show them your phone if they ask. But it would be impossible for immigration to look in Karina's phone because it was in Venezuela with mom. Yeah, Dang is correct. She has nothing to hide, just maybe some good chats we had via text during working hours. There you go. Don't worry about it. You're good. You're good to go. Francois Livingston, airlines are now weighing cabin carry-ons. Seriously, at least that was the airline we flew on coming back home. And you flew from the United Arab Emirates, right? Direct flight to John F. Kennedy International in New York. Well, if they could be doing that now. Remember, the weight on an airplane determines whether the plane can take off safely, land safely, and not have problems while flying. Okay? There was an incident that happened where there was a commercial airline flight with it was just a small plane of about 90 people flying from A to B, and some idiot brought an alligator, a little baby alligator on the plane as a pet, and the alligator got out of the bag, and everybody screamed and ran to the pilot. So everybody in the plane, they all stood up running from the alligator. They all ran to the front of the plane, and the front of the plane went like this and crashed into the mountain. So the weight on an airplane is critical for the safety of the passengers. Christopher Reese, nice. Oh, I wouldn't want to be that person. No, there you go. Okay, guys, so I answered the question on the cell phones. If you're a beneficiary coming to America, the Border Patrol can look in your cell phone. You got no choice. If they ask to look at it, you got to open up the phone. If you don't, you ain't coming in America. They won't let you in the country. But it only is a very rare occasion. I have not heard of anybody I think one person in the time that we've had this channel running has the immigration officer looked in somebody's cell phone. Okay, guys, any more questions? We're going to log out. We're going to relax. We're going to watch a movie maybe. And Karina's tired. She had a long day today. And today's Wednesday, so we'll be back on Saturday.
Yes.
Or I can do a live stream maybe on Friday. Maybe I'll just jump on here Friday. Okay, guys, we'll see you. And tomorrow is the last day of the month. Tomorrow is October 31. It's the last day of the month. Start looking forward to November. And green cards and K-1 visa processing will speed up. Okay, we'll see you. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Come on.